What up, guys? John here with Brian and his Burning Abyss deck profile. He's been taking it to locals so far. There hasn't really been a regional that we could go to. So
I've taken it to one local. I've been playtesting online with it a lot, but I've only taken it to one local. But
yeah.
I beat Roberto Stella Knights, and
You went undefeated, didn't you?
I went undefeated. But I do it a little kid though, so I didn't really get that. But you know, I do.
Right, well, let's see it. How do you like this deck so far?
I like it a lot. Well, as you all know, I play Fire Fist exclusively, but the deck, if any of you realize the meta, everything you bear pop is like just pluses for your opponent right now. Like you can't, Fire Fist cannot play with advantage. Like they can't maintain or gain advantage in this format. Like the deck's unfortunately dead. I'm really sad. It was my one true love and it's just gone. I still have it and it's going to be good again one day, I guarantee it. But right now, it's all about floating. So I decided to pick up one of the new decks and I picked up Burning Abyss because I liked it the best. It seemed like the less likely to do well. It seemed like the most roguish out of all of them, which I don't like to like jump on bandwagons for decks or anything or play what everybody else is playing. So I kind of decided to play that. Plus I figured it's a TCG deck. It's already pretty well, like doing pretty well for itself, and I figured it would probably be like a good long-term investment. So I did that. I've been liking it a lot. It's really fun. I like what it does. Alright, so you start off with the 3 obligatory tour guides, just the basic engine of the deck. Like you want to get to it as soon as possible. It's really good. It just gets you into your rank 3s. Then you play 3 of each of the Burning Abyss monsters in the main deck because there's only 3 right now. So you play 3 Graf, 3 Seer, and 3 Scarm. And so
when you get more just like Burning Abyss monsters, which of these would be the first one that you would cut?
Seer, because Seer is terrible to open with. Like, I hate opening Seer because he doesn't, until you have an established grave or some sort of grave, he's really bad. Like, it's bad, but he's amazing in the grind game, but he's so bad to open with unless you open, like, Allure. He's the best Allure thing.
Would you say that this deck is, like, in the grind game, is that where this deck kind of shines, or...?
If you don't open Brick, like, if you get the thing, if you do what you're supposed to do with the deck, it grinds really well, especially the way I have it built. I feel like I grind really well with it. Like, there's a loop with Dante and Seer I'll go over briefly. Okay. But anyway, so the main Burning Abyss monster is Graf. He's like one of the, like, they're all really good for what they do, but Graf is really good because he gets you to your plays. He gets you when he's sent to the grave. They all special summon. If you don't control any spells or traps, you can special summon them from the hand, but you can only use one of their effects, and they each have 2 effects. His is when he's sent to the grave, you get to summon any Burning Abyss monster from the deck to the grave, or from the deck to the field. So he gets you to your monsters. Scarm is the best one because it's the Rhoda. In the end phase, he's sent to the grave. He gets you tour guide. Like you can get the other ones if you've gone through the tour guides, but he basically gets you the tour guides. Like he gets you tour guide. It's amazing. And then Seer he's the underdog. He's really good, but he's only good in the grind game. Once you have a good grave established, because when he's sent to a grave, he summons another one except Seer. Yeah, that's what they all don't summon themselves. Like Scarm can't search itself, Graf can't summon itself from the deck, and Seer can't summon itself from the grave. But he can summon, he summons any Burning Abyss monster. He also summons Dante from the grave. He's really good in the grind game, but he's not good to open with unless you open that Allure. And then I play 2 Crane. It's Graveyard Tour Guide. It's really fucking good for the grind game. If you don't mill it, it gets you to your rank 3s again after you've gone through tour guides, or if you want to save the tour guides and just manipulate the graveyard. He's a little dead. I've been getting brick hands with him because I think I run him at 2. I think I'm going to try playing a Mathematician instead and playing 1 of each. Because I took that from someone who topped at a regional. His logic was, he ran 1 Mathematician in this build. He got first place. His logic was really sound. I liked it a lot, so I decided I'm going to try that out now. His logic for running the Mathematician was he wanted to open 10 ways. He wanted 10 ways to open really good with the deck. And the 10 ways are, you can open one of the tour guides. You can open one of the Graf, because Graf will get you to Scarm, or you can open one of the Scarms, and Scarm will get you to tour guide. So, and then the 10th card would be Mathematician, because Mathematician will dump Scarm, and Scarm will get you to tour guide. So a quarter of the deck is devoted to opening, not brick, basically.
Why did you call Crane a tour guide and a wolf bark? What about him? What makes him different than a wolf bark?
There's not really anything that makes him different from a wolf bark, except he's not really rank 3. What are you trying to? What do you mean?
The fact.
I mean, he is a wolf bark, but I called him tour guide Grave Tour Guide because it's like Tour Guide's more relevant to this deck than Wolfbark is.
Oh.
But it's, I mean, he technically is like a wolf. He is a Wolfbark for the deck essentially. So yeah, that is true though. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to cut Crane down to 1 and try a Mathematician out because Crane sucks because you can open brick with him. You don't want to see him early. And then I play 2 Caius in the main deck because it sucks because he loses the Shadow Imprisoning like the rest of the deck, but Caius is really good because he deals with everything in the meta right now. He banishes Deltaros, he banishes Winda, Construct, anything big really.
Dante.
Yeah, he can banish your opponent's Dante. That's in the mirror match. Burn you for 1,000 against your dolls, whatever you bound. He can also hit back row. Like he's just a good clear way to clear the field. And also, if you tribute one of the Burning Abyss monsters, their effect will go off. Also, I didn't cover that because I'm bad. Any of the Burning Abyss monsters in the main deck, when there's another Burning Abyss when there's a non-Burning Abyss monster on the field, they automatically kill themselves. So you have to be careful about that. That's
why Crane's good then.
Yeah, he negates the effects. Wolfbark does that too, though.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, that wasn't really relevant. But yeah, So you have to be careful because if you have Caius on the field, you can't like summon any of the others. But that's not terrible because if you tribute Scarm, you just get Tour Guide in the end phase. Because Tour Guide negates their effects, so you can go into rank 3. So does Crane. But yeah, I like 2 Caius in the main. That's all for the monsters. It's 16 monsters. I didn't like running like a lot like the Chaos Engine because I feel like it's really just inconsistent. Like if you don't have back row, I feel like you're not going to win against your doll matchups necessarily. Like I don't like it. You're not going to win against Stella Knights if you can't play through back row with a Chaos Engine against like Stella Knights. Anyway, the spells I main deck triple MST because I think MST is just a really good ass card. Like people stopped playing it for a time and now people are starting to put it back in. Like people are main decking Vanities like hardcore now. People are like this deck loses the Floodgates. I hate decks that lose the Floodgates, which is why I didn't want to pick this deck up. But I just liked it a lot and I figured I'd pick it up. But yeah, you want to make sure you have answers to Floodgates in this deck, and it's just good to get through back row.
I feel like all the meta is really hard to most Floodgates right now.
I mean, yeah, like, for the most part.
The Trinity, both the mirrors are relevant. Like,
nobody can play the Trinity except for Stella Knights, and even they don't want to play because they only run such a low monster count. They don't want to mess up their...
Well, I mean, I guess Evil Storms, but...
Well, yeah, but that's not... I don't consider Evil Storms
I always consider Evil Storms meta.
They're not meta. They're anti-meta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're in the meta. They're like... Anti-meta is still in the meta. It's just...
Then I played the 2 win condition, or that's what people like to think of it because they think this is amazing. 2 rank up magic Astral Force. It turns any of your level 3s or rank 3s that you have into the same. They can make it. You can overlay for a level 5, but it has to be the same type and attribute. But you can recycle it from the grave instead of your draw phase. You turn Dante into Pleiades. That's usually what you do. This is actually... So it's a good target to mill because you can get it back when you want to if you do mill it. But it's really good because, honestly, I've never lost a game where I resolved this when I made Pleiades mid to late game, I usually never lose because at that point we're in the grind game and they don't have much for me to bounce. And when I bounce, I'm probably going to put too much damage on board. So I think it's obviously it's really good. It's not even my opinion. It's really fucking good in this deck. I main deck 2 Creature Swap because Creature Swap's absolutely disgusting in this deck. Like it's because you give your opponent a Burning Abyss monster, and if they have another monster on the field, the Burning Abyss monster automatically dies and gains you advantage. So this just turned into a Change of Heart permanently. Or when you kill it with their monster, and then that Burning Abyss monster's effect goes off. Like it's so good. It's just amazing. You can also tribute things for Caius. Like so disgusting. Like it's amazing, the main.
Didn't I also see some shenanigans with your extra deck and Creature Swap earlier?
Yeah, I made. I was doing my friend Dan. He had Mythic Rulers, and he. I made Acid Golem. It's Mythic Rulers. I made Acid Golem, and then I Creature Swapped his for the Acid Golem. I gave him my Acid Golem and took I think his Gores, and literally he sat there every turn, and he had to detach both materials, and he had to just take 2,000 every turn. I just sat. I won the game because he couldn't kill his own Acid Golem because the deck does nothing but special summon, and you can't special summon when you control an Acid Golem. So it's an alternate win condition with Acid Golem. It was disgusting. It was hilarious. He was so salty. I played 2 enemy controller. I thought it was really good because I wanted ways to trigger the Burning Abyss monster's effects. It's a quick play. Worst case scenario, it changes them to defense and stops an attack, but it also... I can tribute one of my Burning Abyss, get the plus from when they're sent to grave, and then I can take one of your monsters for a turn. That's also fairly good. It's a very versatile card, and I like it a lot in this deck. I side it out. I usually side it out for like good back row or something or whatever I'm siding against, but it's not bad at all. Like it's really good. I like it a lot here. It's kind of like another creature swap, sort of. Then the one Allure, one Book, and one Foolish. Allure is really good in this deck. When I open with it, I usually mill it a lot. I've noticed I mill it a ton when I use Dante, but Allure is really good in this deck. Like when you can actually open with it, it just gets you. It's just gross. The Book, it's just Book. I like Disrupting Plays. I like it. It's a quick play. It's a really good book. It's a really good spell. Best neg one in the game. Mm-hmm. And then Foolish, because if you open Foolish, you pitch Scarm, and Scarm gets you to Tour Guide at the end phase, so it's fucking good. The traps. 3 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast.
So good.
Best trap in the deck, probably. Like, you discard, you bounce any card to the top of your opponent's deck if they go back to the extra deck, or they go to the top of the deck and your opponent's back a turn, basically. Like, you discard, so you discard a Burning Abyss monster and you gain their effect because they're sent to grave. It's just so good. It deals with Winda, it deals with Deltaros, it deals with anything that wants to go to grave and you don't let it hit the grave. It's really, really good. I'm playing 2 Divine Wrath. You can play 2 Karmika. It's the same concept as Phoenix Wing. It's a trap that lets me discard one of my Burning Abyss so I gain advantage, and then it messes up my opponent's play. You can run Karma Cut. I think I'm going to side Karma Cut and side these out. Karma Cut's really good against the Shadal match because you just banish the Winda. But I like Divine Wrath because it's a counter trap, and I feel like it's good against everything else besides like Shadals. And it's not even necessarily bad against Shadals. It's just bad against Winda. But everything else I feel like it's like just too good against. So I like main decking the 2 Divine Wrath. And then 2 Breakthrough because it's a mill deck and you want to mill it, essentially. Like, it's not bad when you obviously open with it because it's a Veiler. It's a free monster negation, but it's really good to mill. Like, you want to have decent targets to mill. Like, you mill the Burning Abyss with Dante, you mill the Breakthrough, or you mill the rank ups. I think that's about it that you really want to mill. There's nothing else. Yeah, that's about it, y'all, that you actually want to mill. But, like I said, it's good. You don't run Fiendish Chain because it's a mill deck. 2 Wiretap. There's just too much. There's still too much traps. Like Deltaros deck, like Stella Knights, they play way too much back row. Like, you have to have some sort of back row, like ways to counter their counter trap, or you're just gonna lose. Like, they're gonna gain too much advantage for you. You have to at least try. Like, I think Wiretap's just still kind of needed. And then I'm playing the Compulse because it's good. It gets over Winda. Like, this deck loses the Winda pretty fast if you don't deal with it. And Compulse is just really good. Like, I don't play Torrential or Bottomless because Torrential is really bad right now. Kind of. Everything goes to grave and activates and pluses. I don't think Torrential's good. And Bottomless isn't bad, but I didn't have room for it. But it's not terrible necessarily because it does banish the target, so it's not awful. And then I'm playing 1 Deep Prison and 1 Warning, and I don't know. These are cards I don't know what I want to do with yet. I don't think I want to play Warning in this deck because it's like with Allure. I mill Warning a lot, but like I also can win you games if you open with it. So I think I might leave it in, but I don't know what I want to play instead of this Deep Prison. So right now I'm playing the Deep Prison just to deal with like a Winda, but I don't know. This is probably going to change soon when I think of an idea. But yeah, for now, 1 random Deep Prison in there. That's the main deck.
40 cards?
Yeah. Extra deck, 2 Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss.
Gross. Would you consider running 3 or?
If I had a third, it works fine under 2 because there's a loop, but if you had 3, you could play 3 because the only problem is when you go into the extra deck and you don't go into Dante, you can't summon your Burning Abyss monsters. So unless you have the Tour Guide or the Crane, you have to stop with your extra deck summons until they get rid of. Actually, no, until that monster leaves the field. But yeah, if I had a third, I would probably play it. But then again, I like my extra deck right now. I don't really know what else I would take out necessarily for it. There's only one thing I think I would actually take out. But yeah, the 2, it works fine under 2. Like, you don't actually need 3 unless you're just, because I've resolved Dante's effect 4 times and I almost decked myself out. Like, it's not necessarily always the greatest of like things that want to like mill that 3 every time, but. Yeah, he mills 3. When he's sent to the grave in any way, like, your opponent can warning this and he still goes off. He's sent to grave and he gets any of them back to the hand except for himself. So the loop is using Seer is basically when you have Seer summons Dante from the grave. He's got a 2500 ass, and then Dante gets you Seer back. Seer can then next turn do the same thing. Like you can essentially kind of put up a mini wall to just protect your Dantes, or to have Dantes protect the your field. Like it's pretty gross because then he's always gonna keep getting you back advantage too. Usually Seer, but like it's a pretty good loop. Like it can stall you for quite a few turns, or your opponent. And then he ranks up into Pleiades. I run 2 Pleiades right now because I'm running to the 2 Dante. Like this is the only. If I were to run 3 Dantes, I would only take out maybe the Pleiades because I don't. There's never been a time where I've made the second Pleiades in one turn or in one game. But then again, if he get like you don't want to not be without the Pleiades, so I think running the 2 is really good. Like
it seems like that'd be kind of rare to go into 2 Pleiades.
Well, I mean, in the grind, like you never know. Like if I open Tour Guide and Astral Force, I'm making right. Pleiades first.
Well, I mean, usually if they're gonna, I mean, unless they're, if you have Pleiades is hitting board, like worst case scenario, you can usually just bounce to Pleiades if you plan on using it again. So
yeah, I understand, but I'm just saying, like I don't know, it's just precaution, honestly.
Right.
There's not really right now because I'm not running the 3rd Dante or anything. There's not really anything else I want to run to where I want to like risk taking out the Pleiades. But yeah, like if I open Tour Guide and rank up Magic, I'm making Pleiades first turn just to put him on field. And he, like I said, usually when I make him in the grind game, like mid to late game, if I make him, it's usually gonna win. That's why Seer is good because Seer can get you back Dante, and if your opponent can't attack with anything else in the end during your turn, you can just add back the rank up magic and make it that Pleiades off that Dante that you summon back for free.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's good. Then I'm playing Levier because you banish with Allure. People are going to try to banish these things or debunk them or something, so it's a nice option to go into if you want to get them back, like get back Scarm or something. And then it'll die immediately, but then you get to
get the effect off.
Yeah, you get the Tour Guide in the end phase, so it's decent. Playing Grenosaurus, he's not actually that bad. He's got decent attack and he can burn your opponent for 1,000. He's not that bad, but he's mostly in there for the rank up target for Vulcasaurus. And I'm really happy I can actually play I've been wanting to play Vulcasaurus in a deck forever. He's like my favorite Exceed. That's not a Fire Fist Exceed. So I've been wanting to play Vulcasaurus in something for a while. So I'm glad I was able to this was a thing. Like you rank him up into that. I play Giga Brilliant. I kind of want to take this out for 10 tempo, but at the same time I don't because you make 10 tempo and he's really good. But Giga Brilliant, I make Giga Brilliant when I already have like a Dante on the field and I just want to put a little bit more damage on board, because he puts Dante up to 28, and then if you do it again and you can still detach for the Dante will go up to 29. He'll go up to 31, and this thing will be at I think 24. It can get pretty nasty. I like Giga Brilliant a lot. But that's just my preference. Zen Mains, I didn't understand why people were playing this card, and I didn't want to play it, but then I realized why people were playing it, and it's because you make Zen Mains and you pop a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror or you pop a Floodgate, and that's literally it. And I was like, that's fucking smart. I can't believe I didn't think of that. So yeah, you play Zen Mains. If they flip a Shadow Mirror, you try to get to Zen Mains and to pop it.
Right. Same concept as Diamond Dire.
Basically, yes. Except he's a tank too, so. You run Mega Equip Angineer, and it's a really good rank 3. It's one of my favorite rank 3s. It's just really versatile. I never actually make it, though, just because usually Dante or something else is the play, but it's also in there for the rank up for Tyrus. This deck has a lot of options, but you don't actually usually make them. It's usually just make Dante, or make, Acid Golem or Fortune Tune, which...
I don't know, Mega Equip Angineer is no joke. That thing...
It's not, but
a lot of decks can't immediately deal with that. Sometimes you just need a turn or two to collect your shit.
That's what Fortune Tune's for, though.
Yeah.
Fortune Tune's really good, really, really good, because it recycles Crane or Scarm and Tour Guide. It recycles them. He's a tank. You gain 500 at every standby phase, and he can't be targeted. He can't be targeted. That's what's really good about him. He can't be Deltaros popped. He can't be Baxia'd, the Yang Zing.
Baxia doesn't target.
Are you sure Baxia doesn't target?
I mean, I don't have one in front of me, but I'm pretty sure because when it's summoned, it's up to however many. So
I heard it targeted, but I might be wrong. Either way, though.
I could be wrong, though.
Either way, though, Deltaros does it target?
It says target.
There you go.
There you go.
They can't Baxia it. They can't Deltaros it. You can't target it in any way. There's a lot of things that target that are just really like good to get over. You can't Fiendish Chain or break through it. Like it's just a really good card. Like I usually make this when I don't know what else to make, and I have a Dante on board already. I'm just gonna make Fortune Tear.
Shit.
Yeah, recycles Tour Guide. Like that's really good. I run Acid Golem for skill drain, for Shadow Mirror, like anything really. But he's really, like I said, if you once the materials are gone, or if you know your opponent couldn't get over him, he's really good to creature swap and make kind of an alternative win condition. Because if your opponent doesn't like get him off the field, they're just going to take 2,000 every turn eventually, and they can't attack with him. So it's really good. Like he's also really good for just beating over stupid things that the deck, because the rank 3 pool is kind of subpar, so you can't really beat over too much. But that's where Acid Golem comes into play. And then I'm running the Ghostrick Alucard and his rank up Crimson Knight Vampire Bram.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Alucard pop a back row, rank up in a Bram.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually don't like Alucard that much. I don't know why people play 2, but he's... I mean, a lot of back row right now is really changeable, but like I said, he's still good. Like, I still make him sometimes, but usually when I want to make him, he's not the play. And my side deck's kind of in the works right now, but it's mostly together. Right now I got 2 Maxian. I might these are probably gonna come out, but right now I have 2 Maxian for several, like just bullshit basically. Like I'm not sure. I don't really have anything I specifically sided against, but sometimes I just decide to side in like something stupid, like maybe Mythic Rulers or something, or Yang Zings. I don't know. Like I said, my side deck's not completely up to par yet. 2DD Crow, I like it because it's good for banishing Shaddoll fusions, and it's good for, I like it in the Stella Knight and the Burning Abyss mirror. Like in the mirror, I can banish one of them from the grave or something. Like if you sear, and you have to you declare which one. Or Dante declares which one to add back to hand, or when you, I can just, when the minute Scarm gets sent, I'm going to banish him and not let you go to end phase with him. And, he's good in the Stella Knight matchup because they go Altier and you just say target and then you banish their target. And I mean, if they have the counter trap, they have the counter trap. That's fucking real. But if they don't, they're gonna not get their Wolf Bark for that turn.
It's a good card. But
yeah.
DD Crow's a good card.
I like it a lot right now. I'm playing Triple Chain Disappearance because it's really, really good in the mirror match. Like you hit Tour Guide or Scarm, the deck's gonna slowly fall apart, and then if you hit the other one afterwards, the deck dies. Like, GG. It's good against Yang Zings too, because if you hit the tuner, the deck starts to fall apart. Their only play after that is Mass Chameleon.
They have a play after that?
It's barely. Like, if you hit the tuner with this, they're probably gonna lose. Like, unless something goes terribly wrong and you misplay or something, like you're probably gonna win that match. Like, Chain Disappearance is really good for those two decks. Double Blackhorn for Stella Knights. I might bump this up to 3, but I don't know. Like I said, the maxis are probably coming out, so everything's still kind of a work in progress. 2 Vanities. I don't like this in this deck at all. Like, I know it's a really good right now. I mained it in Fire Fist, and I know everybody's playing it. It's really good, but I just don't like it in this deck. This deck special summons a lot, and I don't want my own Vanities to hinder me or something. And I don't like my logic with Vanity's Emptiness is that I don't like to side it or main it against someone like that already mains or sides it. Like, if you main Vanities against me, I'm gonna side it out when I played Fire Fist. Like, I just don't like it in this deck personally. So this is probably coming out, but I'm gonna test it a little bit more. Double Malevolent Catastrophe for the Stella Knight matchup, or Yang Zings, anything that plays a lot of back row, mostly Stella Knights, but anything else that maybe like the Rogue matchups, anything that's going to play a lot of back row on me or to get rid of the floodgates, like that's real. And then Double Defusion because it's really good against Shaddolls, because the minute they put the fusion out, you just defusion it whenever you want. It can't be wiretapped. They don't get their fusion back from the fusion monster being sent to the grave. This is definitely getting bumped up to 3 because this deck loses the window, so you have to make sure you have outs to window. So this is I'm just waiting for my 3rd one to come in the mail. Like, this is getting bumped up to 3. And that's it, guys.
Alright, well, thanks for watching. We'll have a Evil Storm deck profile coming up soon. I know someone asked for a Mythic Ruler deck profile, so we'll actually get that to you as soon as possible. And we'll get my Shaddolls coming out if I ever fucking decide what I'm actually running in them. But, alright, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave any comments down below.